Ladies and gentlemen, imagine this. Children gathered in church for the very first Mass of their school year. Parents watching proudly. Teachers guiding them in prayer. And then, without warning, the sound of gunfire shatters the peace. What should have been a morning of hope and faith turned into a nightmare no one will ever forget. 2 children were killed and more than a dozen injured when a gunman opened fire on a Catholic church in Minneapolis. At the time, the parish school was holding its start-of-year Mass. The victims were elementary school students, only 8 and 10 years old. They were sitting in their pews on Wednesday morning at Annunciation Catholic Church when they were shot. The attacker, dressed all in black, carried a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol. He fired round after round through the church's stained glass windows, while children, staff, and parents inside tried desperately to find cover. Police confirmed that 17 people were injured in total, including 14 children. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara described it as a deliberate act of violence. In a press conference, he said the coward who fired the shots later took his own life inside the rear of the church. The shooter was a man in his early 20s. He had no criminal record, and investigators are still searching for his motive. Police found his car parked in the church lot and searched it. Inside the area, they also discovered a smoke bomb firework. The attack began around 8:15 in the morning. Students and staff from Annunciation Catholic School had gathered for Mass only 3 days after the first day of classes. From outside the building, the gunman fired repeatedly through the church's windows. Police said he even blocked the doors on that side of the church, using wooden boards jammed between the handles so people couldn't escape. Chief O'Hara explained that the gunmen fired directly into the pews where children were sitting, striking both them and other worshipers. He added, this was a deliberate act of violence against innocent children and people praying. Police believe nearly all shots came from outside the church, since no bullet casings were found inside. Mayor Jacob Frey spoke with visible grief. He said he was deeply saddened and promised to do everything possible to support the families. Children are dead. There are no words to capture the gravity, the tragedy, the pain of this moment. He pointed out that these children were literally praying when the gunman attacked. Parents and witnesses described a horrifying scene. One parent said the gunman fired between 50 and 100 shots. "This is terrible. This is evil," they told a local newspaper. Another resident said many children were crying and covered in blood as they were rushed from the building. A young boy told his father, "I don't feel safe." A local man said he held hands with 3 wounded children, one of them shot in the neck. Emergency dispatchers reported that a 10-year-old boy with a gunshot wound to the head was being rushed to the hospital. They also reported 2 other head injuries and 1 critical victim behind the church. Another neighbor who has long attended Annunciation Catholic said he heard dozens of gunshots over several minutes. At first, he didn't believe it was real gunfire because of how constant and loud it was. Parents were later allowed into the school grounds to collect their children in small groups. A reunification area was set up nearby so families could be brought back together. Authorities reassured the community there was no ongoing threat. Senator Amy Klobuchar shared that one of her staff members had 3 children inside the school during the shooting. Her 7th-grade daughter watched friends get shot. The girl hid under the pews, and though she was not hurt, she later had to tell another parent that his daughter had been shot. Police, FBI, and other federal agents swarmed the scene. President Donald Trump said he had been fully briefed and would continue to monitor the tragedy. He called Minnesota Governor Tim Walz to offer condolences. Homeland Security officials also condemned the attack as horrific and said they were coordinating with local authorities. Governor Walz said he was praying for the children and teachers whose first week of school had been destroyed by such violence. Mayor Frey said again there were no words that could capture the horror of what had taken place and urged the city to support the grieving families. Annunciation Catholic Church has served the Minneapolis community since 1923. Its connected school teaches pre-kindergarten through 8th grade. Just 2 days earlier, children had been photographed in bright green uniforms, smiling at bike racks, chatting with friends, and starting a new school year full of joy. Now, the same school is the center of grief. 2 children are dead. Many more are wounded, and an entire city is left broken after a morning that began with prayer, but ended in terror. The shooting at Annunciation is one of several violent incidents in Minneapolis in the past day. On Tuesday afternoon, a person was killed and 6 more wounded outside a Catholic high school. Hours later, 2 more shootings killed 2 more people. Police say these attacks are not connected. The attack on the church also came after a wave of hoax shooting calls at colleges nationwide. In some cases, pranksters even played gunshot sounds over the phone, terrifying students and forcing schools to send out emergency alerts. But in Minneapolis, there was nothing fake about the danger. Children were shot while attending Mass. Families are mourning, and an entire city is left asking how such evil could happen inside a house of prayer. Friends, if this story touched you, if you believe these children and families deserve to be remembered, please subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Together, let's keep spreading awareness and stand against violence.